My world really hit the fan in 2013, but it really started much longer before that, back to 2007. And at the time, my husband and I had our own business, actually 2 businesses that we were juggling and working constantly, but we were happy, we were busy, we traveled, we worked, we were kind of the social hub of our friends and family. I loved to cook and entertain, and we were living this, really beautiful, full life. We worked 10, 12 hours a day, and it just broke me. At the end of that, I was physically and emotionally just shattered, and my body started falling apart. I was getting sick all the time. I had random aches and pains that didn't make any sense, but I just thought like, oh, that's what 40 feels like. So, but after that point, I was really never the same again. I just lost that kind of spark or fire, and I was intimidated and fearful. And then flash forward now to 2013, and I was still running. I was always a runner. I used to run with my dog every day, 2-3 miles every day. And so I was out for a normal morning run, and I just suddenly got this incredible heart palpitations. I was lightheaded. I was dizzy. I thought maybe I was having a heart attack or something. It was really extreme. That was the tipping point. We talk about a perfect storm of like all these different things coming together. And I think that was just the tipping point for me. And very quickly, it just degenerated, and I was hit with horrible vertigo. And we finally found an issue in my eye that I had. It's called an epiretinal membrane, which just is like a little growth over the retina. That's something that's really common, I guess, for people in their 80s or 90s. Not a big deal, but I was 43. And it disturbed my vision and just was enough to throw my system out of whack. So at that time, we thought like, oh, this is the good news. This is it. We're going to have eye surgery. We're going to fix it, and we're going to move on. So I had the eye surgery, and I didn't move on. I progressively got worse. I got incredible pain, neck, shoulders, body, horrible fatigue, really non-functional fatigue, and just progressively got worse from there. Started getting super hypersensitive to the world around me, things that never bothered me before, to smells, to foods, to seasonal allergies. So I had breast implants at the time. So that was a no-brainer to me. Take them out, no big deal, done. And again, we thought, okay, this is it. This is what the cause is. Great, we're going to be able to move on with our life. And so I got the breast implants out. But after that, everything just progressed. I fell apart. I was in so much pain just throughout my body, like I couldn't be touched. I could only wear like the softest, loosest, baggiest clothes. I couldn't handle like loud noises, crowds, activity. So like even something as simple as going to the grocery store became really impossible. And life just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Started with the very conventional doctors. I used to call them the big Scaryologists. So cardiologist, rheumatologist, neurologist. They were testing me for MS, for brain tumors, for all different kinds of autoimmune disorders. And I had all of the symptoms, but I didn't have any of the markers. So they were like, we don't know what to do with you. So I started going just to try and manage the pain to chiropractors and physical therapists and acupuncture and all of that. I eventually found my way into more holistic doctors and saw naturopaths and environmental medicine doctors and all kinds of detox therapies, colonics all the time, tons of IVs. I had more needles in my arms than I could ever remember. A lot of it was really diet-oriented, and they had me on all kinds of extreme diets of avoiding gluten, sugar, grains, all the usual suspects. I was about 25 pounds lighter than I am now at the time, when you're already so sick and you just do whatever they say. Whatever they say, I would do it, and I would do it exactly as they said it. I found my way to an environmental medicine doctor eventually, and she suggested testing the house for mold. The person that she recommended came and did find mold in the house, so we literally evacuated. It was supposed to be like a short 6 weeks or something of finding and remediating it, but it turned into this saga of trying to track it down, and we didn't have a huge mold problem. We had a little patch here and a little patch there, and they kept trying to find it. Eventually, it was 9 months and about $100,000 later. After all of that, I couldn't be in the house. We had used VOC-free paints and everything super clean, and I couldn't be in the house. So it's August in Arizona, it's 100 degrees, and I'm sleeping outside. After everything that we had been through and so many times of hope and then crashing and then hope and then crashing, and that was really my pattern. I would find a new doctor and a new treatment, and I would respond, and then I would crash. And then I would respond, and then I would crash. Nothing just ever stuck. And I just had this moment. I just went outside and on the backyard, and I just fell to the earth, and I cried. I don't know if I've ever cried like that before in my life, just gasping for air and just begging for help. And I can't do this anymore. I can't. If this is my life, I can't do this. And it was somehow that little voice in the back of my head just said, you know what to do. And it was almost like I heard it. You know what to do. I had heard about DNRS from one of my environmental medicine doctors, and she didn't really know anything about it, but she had had a patient who had done very well on it. And so I had just kind of had that in the back of my head as like, okay, that's the next thing I'm going to try. So I went in and I sat down on my computer and went to the DNRS website and just went right to the testimonials, to the videos, and I just started binging. I don't even know how many of them I watched in a row. I was just fascinated by hearing these stories of so many people. And many of them, I thought I was sick. Many of them so much sicker than I. There was one video in particular that I really connected to, and that was Kelly. And there were certain similarities in our story. She had been exposed to mold, she had had breast implants. But I think what I really connected to was she had a picture in her recovery story of sitting by a food truck at a beach with a bikini on and a straw hat, and she's eating a cheeseburger. And that was just so far beyond my comprehension at that time to ever imagine to be able to be at a beach girl. I'm a beach girl. I lived in Hawaii. We have family in Tahiti. My husband's from Hawaii. And I couldn't go to the beach, you know, these tropical climates and humidity. And there was Kelly in this amazing picture, and she's eating food. And it just gave me like inspiration and hope. It gave me not only hope, but knowledge that yes, I can be well again. Yes, I can live my life again. It's like someone gave you permission to live again. And that's exactly what it was. All these years and all these doctors and all these extreme treatments and therapies, and everyone was saying, no, 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 don't, hide, 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 avoid, avoid, avoid. My life is once again mine. I go wherever I want. I don't think about it. I go to hotels, I travel, I go through airports, I attend concerts, which in the past would have been unthinkable. I don't ever have a thought in my mind about a building I'm walking into or needing to check out a place. I just go. I just go. I don't even think about that anymore. I eat whatever I want to eat, and sometimes that's a kale salad or a green juice, and sometimes it's a cheeseburger and fries. I eat everything. I eat blue cheese and red wine and chocolate and cheeseburgers. And I don't think about it. I just enjoy. And I get to travel again. My husband and I are traveling again. We've been on a couple amazing trips. We went to Tahiti, and we actually have family there. So it was so joyful to be able to go back. I didn't get to go visit my family for almost five years. I didn't get to go. So the huge victory for me was there's a mountain there, and we hiked this mountain. and it has spectacular blue lagoon views down below, and to be on top of that mountain again was amazing. I hike, I exercise, I run with my dog again, I cook again, we socialize again. My husband and I had a 15th anniversary party, and it was about, I think, 8 or 9 months after my DNRS program, when we had it here at the house. And we had friends and family fly in from all over. We renewed our vows in a beautiful ceremony. And that would have been unthinkable. So that was only, I think that was, again, 8 or 9 months after our ceremony. That would have been unthinkable. My symptoms were the result of limbic dysfunction. So when you have these chronic illnesses, you're always looking for, like, what is it? Is it because of food, or is it because of an environmental thing, or is it, an eye surgery, or what is it? What is it? And you're always looking for these things that are external. But really what's going on is the way that your brain is reacting to those triggers. And it's so hard when you're that sick to look outside of yourself and go, nope, it's not the smell that's bothering me, it's the way my brain is reacting to the smell. And that is so important. So for anyone who is watching this video, who's in a similar position, or who's still suffering or struggling or looking for their answer. Oh my goodness, there's so much I want to say. The first thing is, I am a real person. This is my real story. The pictures you saw are me and my family and my friends and my dog and my home. And this is my home we're filming in today. And I got to keep my home. I got to move back in and keep my home, and I got to keep a lot of our belongings and treasures and books and photos and artwork and your life. And I know that you can too. And I know that you are finally in the right place if you're looking at this video, because so many of us out there are professional researchers, and we've been looking at so many things and tried so many doctors and so many treatments. But there was a reason for me why it never stuck. And it was here. And when you're able to rewire here, everything else just falls into place. And I know that I've heard people call it a miracle. To me, it feels like a miracle, but it's science. And I don't hope or pray that this would work for you. I know with every cell in my body that if you are struggling with chronic illness and you can't find an answer and you're not responding to the treatments, I know you're in the right place.